Now on the gram on YouTube. Here we go. We're gonna play a little bit of Thugs. Let's figure out what's going on there. So let me give you a little bit of nuanced opinion of what happened in this latest bond hearing by Thug. Now, I want to put on the record. I've talked to a lot of people within law enforcement in terms of, actually not really cops, but I've talked to people within the judicial system, especially lawyers and defense attorneys. They have said this to me. Academics, you cover this stuff a lot when it comes to rappers. I want you to look at any other defendant that has had 3 bond hearings in 2 months. Let me explain. A lot of people believe that Young Thug's lawyer, who's probably getting paid millions for this, is earning his every fucking dollar that he gets because Young Thug is being treated and given opportunities that no one else in the criminal justice system will get. Let me explain. Have you heard, and by the way, if you don't got money like Young Thug, you won't get that. How many bail hearings have you heard about Muwap, who's been locked up on a Fed case? How many bail hearings have you, like, if you're not, I watched this whole thing, it's 6 hours long. I'm going to find a 6-hour version. Give me a second, people, give me a second. Where is it? Right here. 6 hours long. They dealt with bond early on. So like if you look at like the 45-minute period, they dealt with bond for things unrelated to the YSL case. There was a woman who sat in jail literally for a year and a month to get her first bond hearing. Her first. Well, actually, no, her first bond appeal because she was denied bond initially, but like they appealed it, and it took a year and a month for that person to even be listened to. Young Thug been locked up since May 9th, I believe. May, June, July, August. It's 3 months, 3 bond hearings. Now, granted, he was denied in every time. But for the people who might think that Young Thug is getting treated less than the average folk in court, it's the opposite. Young Thug is actually getting the best chance to get out of this situation compared to the regular folk. If it was you, a brokey, who's in court, broke as hell, but accused of these crimes, you will not even get a bond hearing. Also, what I realized, only 2 sets of lawyers were in court. Everybody else was virtual. Young Thug's attorneys, actually 3. There was a guy named Slime Life Shorty. I don't know who he is, but whatever. Young Thug attorneys was in court. Gunna's attorneys was in court, and this other guy named Slime Life Shorty, who I think his lawyer is on one of Thug's teams anyway, so Thug's paying for the lawyer. So basically, priority is given to Young Thug and them. Everybody else, they got, like, their lawyers is on a Zoom call. Thug's lawyers, Thug and Gunna's lawyers, this woman right here, in the blonde here, oh man, why can't y'all see my mouse? Fuck. Okay, the woman all the way, I'm going to put her head at the top of the screen. Like right there to the left. I'm going to put her head right above mine. Right there. Right there. That's Gunna's lawyer. This other woman right here, Gunna's lawyer, they're working for the Steven Sado, who is who represents Gunna. This guy right here also represents Gunna, right? Which, by the way, from what I was told, that was not a bail hearing for Gunna. It was a reindictment for Gunna, so it was an arraignment. Okay, then we got Thug, who, by the way, Thug was in great spirits the whole time. Salute to Thug. For what it's worth, I don't see Thug crying and begging and like just looking sad. Thug looked like he's chilling. Obviously, he's hoping to beat this case, but his demeanor, his body language don't seem like, yo, please let me out. He seemed like he's like, bruh, this come with the life. This is one of the things I got to look at. Granted, I'm pussy. I'm not in that life. I got to say, Thug is that guy, I guess. You know what I mean? Thug is clearly, he's accepting all that shit, right? You'll see Gunna, which I ain't gonna lie, Gunna looked like he was in a college class. Look at Gunna down here. Gunna, he's right above my head. Gunna looks like MLK right now. He got the glasses on, everything. Gunna look like he taking notes. Thug over here, Thug right here. He above my head, pause. Thug look like he's just chilling. All these other people are other people's attorneys, and this is what I'm trying to say, the privilege. Like, for example, this is an attorney right here. He wasn't allowed to go in court. That he's representing some other matter. Basically, Thug and Gunna's lawyers have basically taken over this court. So there's 28 niggas, but Thug and Gunna's lawyers, they're paying these niggas a fortune. I gotta imagine that this case, Thug's lawyer, Brian Steele, and everybody who covers him, Adams and all those people, they're getting $5 million at least, bro. At least. This is going to cost Thug at least $5 million. At least. So these niggas are going hard. One of Thug's lawyers actually got into it with a judge. Yo, they're going hard for Thug. So this is why I say, like, you know, I know some people want to say that Thug is, getting screwed over, but in reality, bro, he's actually getting if you're broke ass walking to court, you're not getting this treatment. Everybody who presented, I can play some parts of it now.
There's a significant risk of fleeing prior to the trial in this case. In order to support why we feel she poses this,
that she's facing significant time, but she's
okay. Bet. So essentially, everybody gets like 5 minutes to plead their case. So the other people who are at this whole hearing for the day, they're pleading their case for their client in 5 minutes. Thug and his attorneys got hours. You know what I mean? So I'm just trying to show you the privilege of the rich. The privilege of the rich, they get hours to plead their case. Everybody else is on Zoom, like, yo, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Yo, we got this person on Zoom. Like, her mom is here. Would you consider it? The judge don't even take a second, like, all right, let's recess and I'll think about it and come back. The judge just says it immediately. No. 5 minute process. Thug, hours. This is the point I'm trying to tell you, having the best representation, okay? Okay, so this might be Adams over here and it might be Steele over here. I'll go to yeah, it is Steele. This guy right here, I'm gonna put him right above my head, pause. That nigga right there, that's one of the top G's of attorneys when it comes to Atlanta. Okay, so they go in the break. I think this is where, so this black attorney right here, he gets into it with a judge over Thug because like he's pushing for shit. Here we go. Here we go.
Let's see, 1-8.
Motion to remove Mr. Steele as attorney for Mr. Williams. Both there are 4 individuals.
Mr. Adams? Sir? Okay, all right. Regarding your prior representation of him and your current representation of Mr. Jeffrey Williams. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then you discussed with Mr. Zimmerman all the issues regarding potential. Madam and sir, would you like to
Hold on.
may have learned something from the former client that helps the current client but hurts the former client. You understand that?
I understand.
Okay.
So essentially, what they were doing here also, so they got a clear, conflict of interest. So essentially, this Brian Steele dude and a lot of attorneys he worked with, YSL usually gets those attorneys for everybody. So say like some random nigga called a gun case, they probably got this thing on retainer. They'd be like, yo, represent this dude to get him off the gun case, right? So now they're all charged together. Like, the court has to make sure everybody has an attorney looking out for their own interests, not the gang or not for somebody else. So they have to tell everybody, like, yo, you know, your attorney that you used to use, that Thug used to pay for all of y'all, used to be representing this person, blah, blah, blah. And everybody got to, like, either sign off to say they're okay with it being cleared, or the court could, like, you know, actually make it a thing. Or the prosecutors could say, yo, we want this attorney kicked off because we don't want this to be a mistrial or some type of appeal basis later. So this dude over here, I'm putting again over my head, this white dude right there, he's a sniper. He's the guy who's going to really get this nigga off. This black dude they just put up there just to, you know what I mean, keep a black face. I ain't gonna lie. He not bad, but you know what I mean. Let me go when he's talking. Oh yeah. This nigga got chewed out by the judge again. 2 times in a row. The judge, I ain't gonna say the judge don't respect him, but you can tell he not a sniper.
I'm gonna pardon me, I believe, to ask Mr. Williams into the court.
The call is
Hold on. Oh yeah, this is not
solved by January 9th trial. Every day in jail is a day. I want to thank you, and I hope I'm in some sort. I'm not trying to waste your time. I'm just
not wasting my time. It's your job. I mean, and with any of this, I mean, look.
No one's around him.
All right, I know you're not gonna watch this. I watched the whole 6 hours. I'll give you a breakdown. So essentially, they got granted. So for you to get a bail hearing, right, or an appeal on bond, you essentially have to submit to the court, like, yo, check this out. What we last said in terms of us making an argument for bond, we have new information. So what happened recently is the prosecutor turned over their first set of what's called discovery. So that's evidence, which says, yo, here are the text messages that we have Thug saying this. Here's the phone calls. Here's the witness statements. That's why you're hearing the snitches come out now, right? Because they've turned over documents to show what witness is going to say about a Thug, what they have in text messages that Thug supposedly said. They're turning over everything. So now Young Thug's, his legal team, they're going through the whole thing. By the way, that's Thug right here. I'm going to put Thug over my head right here. That's Thug. He's on Zoom because he's at the jail, Cobb County. And they're essentially saying to the court, yo, we have new information. This is new information they try to do. They said that the text message information that the prosecutor said before was cap. They said Young Thug never said, yo, somebody got to die for, like a soldier got to be sacrificed for the shit to keep going. They're saying Thug didn't say that, which the prosecutor didn't really comment on that too much. But this is why they're playing a game of chess. The reason why Thug is definitely sitting in jail is because the prosecutor successfully has said, yo, the witnesses are being threatened, and we could prove the witnesses are being threatened because we got to take care of their family. We got to put them in hiding. And now when they say that, right, they don't necessarily got to point to one defendant or the other. They're going to just be saying, hey, why would we let anybody out when witnesses are being threatened? So everybody's lawyer, including Gunna, Thug, there was a guy named Slime Life Shorty. He claimed he was only making T-shirts that said, make America slat or slime again, whatever. Essentially, everybody was saying, we ain't threatening no witnesses. That's why even Thug's lawyers coming out and say, yo, whoever's doing this, stop, because Thug ain't going to get out. Thug is literally denied bail on the fact that they don't know who's threatening witnesses, but there's witnesses being threatened, and they're saying Thug is in a leadership position. He has the resources. He's the kingpin. So it's like if they wouldn't let out El Chapo on bail if all the witnesses were getting killed by other people in the cartel that were free. They would be like, well, they're doing this to get you free. Why would we let you free? You know what I mean? So essentially, that's the reason why they gave and the judge accepted. So Thug's not getting out on bail. There's been 3 bail attempts. Unless there's something else new that comes up, it's very unlikely. And by the way, again, this is privilege of Thug, who just probably spending out the ass on this attorney. He might get a 4th bail hearing. He's been denied 3 times. He might get a 4th bail hearing. Now, I can't see what issue they might bring up, because keep in mind, every time they're bringing up bail, they're telling them like, yo, he won't have no internet. We'll pay for police, security. We'll have him isolated at some house or whatever the case is. And they're turning down all those. So I can't see how they would allow Thug to get any type of bail. What we're gonna see not too long from now is gonna be the 3rd one for Gunna. And Gunna is going to try to do the same thing. And they're going to be hoping that the judge don't buy the fact that Gunna supposedly, because they're assuming all these guys are threatening witnesses. They're going to try to make a case that Gunna's not threatening witnesses. And what's probably going to come up in that case, it came up in here. His lawyers came up with it. Let me see. Let me see if I can find it. Right here. This is Gunna's lawyer getting at the prosecutor. So Gunna's lawyer, I'm going to put it over my head. This is Gunna's lawyer. She's getting at the prosecutor saying that, yo, the prosecution don't have shit. They're just saying anything about Gunna. They said Gunna had a nurse sneak drugs into the jail. We asked them for the proof on that because they charged them with it. Like, they're not giving us nothing. And we asked them for the full discovery to the case where they're claiming Gunna is like some big gang member. They still ain't give us the whole thing. So you're going to hear, this is Gunna's attorney here.
Over, if it's even possible. I can get it today. We've got the hard drive.
Here we go.
If anything's different, I want to put that on the defense part to say, wait, we didn't get...
As well as we still, to this day, have not received any discovery about this nurse who allegedly...
Remember the nurse? They said that there was a fucking nurse that was bringing Gunna some coke. I didn't even know one of was on the coke. Holy. They said somebody had some coke, somebody had some weed. You know what I mean? They was trying to bring some whippets in there, all type of shit.
Tried to provide some kind of contraband at the Fulton County Jail.
We're not here to argue that. I'll take up that on the 8th.
No, Your Honor, I'm not attempting to argue it. I'm just asking for the state for a status on that particular item of discovery.
Your Honor, I did provide that status to Mr. Sadow. That actual recording was in the possession of a prosecutor, not in...
So essentially, I'm just shortening everything, but essentially what the prosecutor gets up and says after, because Gunna's lawyer is saying, yo, y'all are saying Gunna did all this shit, but we're asking you for the proof as you're legally required to give us, but you haven't given us everything, so how can we even prepare a defense for him? Y'all are bullshitting, like, what's up? Like, y'all not giving him bail, and y'all won't give us the full shit to defend him. The prosecutor basically gets up and says, yo, like, in reality, he's not locked up only because of the nurse, and the nurse shit is in a it's in a different prosecutor in a different jurisdictions, like possession, so they got to get it to us. So anyway, basically, the prosecutor's on his game too. Which, by the way, if you're wondering why that black lady Fonnie Willis isn't here, all of these motherfuckers on the right, I'm gonna put them over my head. All these motherfuckers over the right, from this dude to this woman to that guy who's the lead one. So he's the lead assistant DA. They're gonna run the case. So you're not gonna see that black lady that be talking like, yo, there's 2 more indictments. You're not gonna see her in court at all. You know what I mean? Like, actually, it's rare that you even see a lead district attorney in court prosecuting anything. You usually see the assistants. So she's the person who does the PR. She obviously signs off and makes the moves. But it's these people who got to get Thug convicted. Only if you're wondering, okay? Someone said that boy act 12. Nah, bro, well, you know, I gotta, like, unfortunately, rappers are in legal situations, and I have to, like, make myself known about this stuff that I could explain to y'all, because if I was just like, oh, I don't know what's going on, so I've read a lot of indictments and stuff like that, right?
Miss Patricia, who?
Ford crime, in addition to being the principal.
Okay. This was hilarious. So this guy's an attorney for, there's somebody named Slime Life Shorty. Let me see if I can Google him. Slime Life Shorty. It was interesting. It's interesting, right? He said he's locked up, right? He said he's locked up only because he made shirts that said, he says he does merch, and he did okay, like this. Make America slime again. I don't know if y'all can see it on the shirt. I'm gonna put the caption right over my head. Make America slime again, and then the bigger caption says slime over sluts. So his lawyer shows up in court to say why he locked up. He never been part of YSL and doing no gang shit. He just took advantage of the fact that slime is a thing, and he's like, whatever. So they're basically like, his lawyer basically went up there and says, yo, there's other rappers who use the word slime. Like Vado used to use it in New York. Doesn't mean he's in a gang. Why y'all got this dude locked up? So this is what his attorney says. And his attorney's pretty young. So he's using a lot of references. He's using a Diddy reference. Like, yo, there's a vote or die. It was like, yo, back in the day, Diddy used something called vote or die. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean that's some gang stuff. It was just like going off what's popular. It's just like somebody might say, use a reference of make America great again. Like, yo, make America safe again, or make America whatever. Doesn't mean you're in a gang. If I said make America slime again. So this is him making the case. I'm going to play a little bit of what he said.
Principal. It does not say that. It just says that he was driven somewhere by Marvius, gets out of the back seat, gets back in the back as a judge. And so he can't be considered a significant risk to reoffend. He can't be considered a danger to the community. He's college educated with no criminal history. He can't be considered a flight risk. He's cooperative.
I ain't gonna lie to you. Slime Life Shorty. I'm gonna tell you why this is so hilarious. I listened to this. I didn't know who this guy was. I listened to this, and the way his lawyer described him like he was just like a choir boy. It was like, yo, he graduated. His lawyer said this in court. Yo, he's never been in a fist fight. Yo, he's never had no discipline problems. He's never had no issues. He's not a gangster. I'm like, damn. Like, did they just indict some nigga who literally has, like, he's not like that? You'll hear, I don't know if I'll get to it, but his lawyer says that. Yo, the prosecutor violates. The prosecutor comes up and be like, well, he has slat tatted on him. He's doing the motion where he's wiping his nose. He's in the video called, it's a slime type video, and he has the guns with him. So, yeah, he never been in a fight, but this nigga look like he's surely active. Like, this shit's hilarious, because I ain't gonna lie, his lawyer was doing the best job. Listen.
The entire time, he is arrested without incident, without flight, no attempts of flight. He's had his communications monitored this entire time. I know that the Fulton jail even has voice recognition that knows when people are using other people's phones. He's not anything like that either. And so, Your Honor, the state does allege that he's present at a public forum, a public hearing with Mr. Wani Lee at some point. But again, Judge, he's his personal assistant. And all that the discovery alleges is that Mr. Farley told him.
Madam, can you hear me?
Posts by Mr. Farley.
State, have any questions of Miss? Madam, can you?
Given the severity of the charges, to add some harsh conditions, I propose for the court a bond of $100,000. That he stay at the address that we provided to the court at the scene, because he returns home after going to college instead of going out of state. And, you know, I admire him for that. He's a family-oriented person. He has a child. The mother of his child helps him with the clothing company, Your Honor. And his father still stays there in the barber shop on Cleveland Avenue. And so I just don't see now, with having the discovery and knowing more about the clothing line, how we can deny Mr. Farley's bond. He can't be considered any risk, let alone a significant risk of reoffending, because he's never even been accused of a felony besides this. And the warrant affidavit itself, to this day, along with the discovery, alleges no assistance or any of the other 5 ways that you can commit a party to a crime, in addition to being the principal. It does not say that. It just says that he was driven somewhere by Marvius, gets out of the back seat, gets back in the back seat, and then the car is behind a car that's alleged to be involved in a shooting, and we don't even know the circumstances of that shooting. It doesn't even seem planned. It doesn't seem to be connected to anyone the way the other murders are alleged to be.
Oh, somebody say he's not Slime Life Shorty's lawyer? He's the assistant or somebody's lawyer. Anyway, this guy's just, like, I like this lawyer. This nigga made this. I had to Google who the fuck they were talking about.
Again, Judge, just our artistic play on words, proximity to other artists who are in music instead of clothing, that go to these concerts. And I can proffer, Judge, as an officer to the court, I remember what that environment was like, back in 2008, going to the University of Michigan, go to the Kid Cudi concert, buy the t-shirt. And I almost want to say that I do remember there was a shirt where they had Kid Cudi as the Obama campaign thing at the time. So similar to what's going on here, Judge. It's like a deja vu. And so I admire Mr. Farley. He's very smart. He's well educated, and he found an opportunity to make this clothing. And then the state, because he's wearing this shirt that says "Slime or Die," again, a play on words. If Your Honor remembers the Get Out the Vote campaign, "Vote or Die." I think it might have been P. Diddy or some people at the time were pushing that. Again, Judge, just our artistic play on words, proximity to other artists who are in music instead of clothing, and that's all this is, Judge. So on the Ayala factors, he hasn't ever threatened to tamper with any witnesses whatsoever. He's barely in any of the discovery. This 5 terabytes, it's not even everything, but he's barely in it, Judge. He pops up on the scene because he returns home after going to college instead of going out of state. And, I admire him for that. Walks into the store by himself. Who are they saying to? Why? You could be my dude. You could step on my shoes. And I could be like, dude, what was that? You could be that dude. There's so many things. So slime on its own means nothing because it can mean so many things depending on the context. So that's all he's doing, Judge. He's making these clothes. He sees a business opportunity. He's friends with Mr. Wunny Lee, who's the creator of the hip-hop persona Slime Life Shorty. And as his friend, he becomes his personal assistant to make sure he gets to music videos on time.
Oh, he's his assistant to Slime Life Shorty.
Not even YSL. And then, Judge, he's using the proximity to celebrity to take back to Judge. And so...
Madam, can you hear me?
I was trying to find a part where he said, yo, he's never even been in a fight. I'm like, what? Yo, and then here when the prosecutor gets up, this is how this is a W lawyer, for real. Listen to the prosecutor. Cause he gets up quickly and now he gotta respond to everything because he's saying this guy got nothing to do with this. This guy only did was make a shirt. Like, bro, you're not with this slime shit. Like, slime just could mean nigga, it could mean dude, it's whatever. Look at the prosecutor now.
Posts by Mr. Farley basically.
Hold on.
Do you have any questions of Ms. Ford?
Here we go.
Okay. All right, Ms. Ford, thank you very much. I'm going to put you back on mute. You can be excused to go back to your usual duties and avocation. Okay?
Thank you.
All right, thank you much, ma'am.
Watch this.
And, Your Honor, that's all I have at this time, except for a brief opportunity to respond to anything that the state might say.
Okay, what says the state?
Yo, hear this. Remember, this nigga's an
Go ahead,
angel.
Mr. Geary.
I'll just do it from here.
You can sit or stand, sir, whatever your pleasure. I know we've been here a while. And it's about time.
You can tell you about to pack that nigga up. He said, I don't even need the mic, nigga. I'll pack that nigga up from right here. Watch this.
Take a break. So
No problem, Judge. Judge, contrary to what counsel just indicated, there is actually nothing new from the bond hearing from the 25-23, Judge. On that date, and what counsel wanted to do was argue the sufficiency of the evidence at trial, which is again not what bond is about. Understanding it's presumed innocent, but we have the evidence, we've got the videos, we've got all the evidence there. Further, if we want to talk about the evidence respectfully, Mr. Farley instructed his girlfriend and or baby mother to dispose of a phone and dispose of a gun before we could get there. She didn't. We got it. So that's there.
You ain't tell us about the gun and the phone.
We've got Instagram posts by Mr. Farley basically saying forever homicide.
Forever what?
Now, that's not a closing. That's in line with YSL gang, with other gang members. Judge, he's got the tattoos. He can't hang around YSLs and falsely claim.
The attorneys are so smart. It'd be like, he's like, so now y'all want us to believe that he was falsely claiming YSL and hanging around him and they accepted him?
He's got him, the tattoos, and he's hanging with other YSL members. So he's not falsely represented. He's in the video. He wants to say he's Mr. Lee's assistant. He's in the video throwing gang signs, armed with a weapon. I'm not sure if that's in his job description.
Remember the nigga said, his lawyer said he's just an assistant. The prosecutor said, bro, he's in the video with weapons. What part of his job description is that?
And it's an assistant. He is seen numerous times on Cleveland. They say he's raised on Cleveland. Raised on Cleveland is the name of the predecessor gang to YSL.
I had to Google this one. They were like, he's only tied to Cleveland Avenue, is that he was raised on Cleveland. The prosecutor came back to say, raised on Cleveland is a gang. Cleveland gang. I didn't even know it was a gang. Look, police sting, arrests 8 members of raised on Cleveland gang. Nah, this is crazy. There's a gang called Raised on Cleveland. If I'm his lawyer, I would not say that shit. Nigga, what? What? What's going on? This DA packing them up. Listen.
That is a street gang. And people want to just say, I was raised on Cleveland. That's a gang identifier, Judge. Slime or die. He would not be the first criminal to try to make $1. Judge, the fact that he might have a clothing line on theirs, and I will say that for Mr. Williams also. Mr. Williams has made an interview that stated the gang pre-existed the record label. It pre-existed the clothing line. That's a recorded statement by him. So anything that's marketing after that is an opportunity. I'm not saying they're not taking advantage of that. That doesn't mean they're not committing the original crimes. So just the fact that he is trying to make money off of selling something that is gang related, that has got nothing to do whether he would commit offense. And I say this kind of left-handed respectfully. I know counsel didn't make an admission here, but he states the recording does show he's there on the scene at the time of the murder. It does. And it shows a lot more than that, Judge. He characterized the recordings. It's going to be for the jury to determine that. Judge, this is basically the same thing was presented to you on 523. You found that there's no reason, there's no evidence presented to change that ruling, Judge. We ask you to deny.
God damn.
Okay, all right.
Yes, Your Honor.
You got
This nigga's trying to answer back.
minute?
Yes, just a minute, Judge. I agree with a lot of what the state said. Yeah, making a clothing line and using artistic content doesn't connect you to crime and make you a criminal.
Did he do the video with him holding the gun, though? With the tattoos?
It's like wearing a Scarface shirt or a Godfather shirt doesn't make you part of the mafia. It's art. What Mr. Williams is making is art. It's spread all over the world, and now Mr. Farley is a bystander, Judge. What the state didn't correct was that, yeah, he's on the BP.
All right, Mr. Menendez and Mr. Geary and Mr. Farley. I've had an opportunity to reconsider the what has been proffered in this particular from the 523 hearing in this case. Mr. Menendez, I don't find any change in circumstances. I do agree with the state in this particular situation. At a minimum, your client still poses a threat to persons and property in the community and poses a threat to intimidate.
Quarter L right there, man.
Williams is presumed innocent.
All right, I'm gonna have them play when they do Young Thug shit. This is when they do Young Thug shit right here. They find that Thug, I think it's right here.
Adding some additional information.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Kitchens, there's clearly Mr. Williams, and they're very successful at that. Other members of their gang are writing about the exploits of the gang, and Mr. Williams is singing about some of them. The fact that Mr. Williams didn't actually write that I didn't kill anybody, but I got something in that body, is still biographical.
Damn, yo, this nigga know more Young Thug lyrics than anybody, man. This white dude know more Young Thug lyrics than anybody, bro.
He's still in that role. That's still the truth, and we still intend to prove that, Judge. And again, it's an adopted admission. It doesn't take away anything that maybe he's not the one that penned the words. But again, as listed on iTunes and other such places, it says he wrote the songs. And maybe he's just doing that to get the credit, but he's going to come in and say, oh, that's really not true.
All right, anyway, this is a whole long thing. Thug and Gunna had a brief moment to try to talk to each other. Y'all tell me what y'all think this conversation is. It feels like Thug was trying to make sure Gunna was, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, remember when Shotty went in court and there was a report that 6ix9ine was in court, and while they were leading Shotty out the court, Shotty screamed out, "We don't bend, we don't fold, straight away." You know what I mean? Like, really, he didn't say that to just like be like a fucking, you know what I mean, actor. I think he kind of said that, this is before he knew 6ix9ine was snitching. It was kind of like, yo, bro, we got to hold it down because they can't really talk to each other, right? So, like, he's trying to send the message like, yo, nigga, nobody telling, right? Like, I feel like when Thug talking to Gunna on this shit, it's like Thug trying to make sure Gunna's in a good mindset, like, yo, bro, you good, right? Let me play it. Where is that? Let me see. On mute. Okay, here. So this was during a recess.
Good.
Oh yeah, this is him talking. So he unmute. So Thug unmutes and he's talking to Gunna. They're on the same Zoom call.
If you got the cable, I got
A1.
A1. That's him. That's Thug. That nigga Gunna was not trying to unmute. Gunna's like, man, nigga, stop talking to me, nigga. Nigga, we in court, boy. Don't talk to me right now. that nigga Thug said, "Hey, one." He took a while for that nigga Gunna to unmute. Look.
A1.
Nigga Gunna looking at that mute button like.
Good.
Nah, you said something. You said, "You good?"
that works.
Good.
He asked him again, "You good, nigga?" Which, by the way, I like. I don't know if this is there might be on some devious shit, but I think the judge is in there, which usually means that this ain't on the record, in a sense. So, like, you know what I mean? Usually, if the judge leaves or the judge calls a recess, they, of course, it's still recorded, but this isn't on the record in court. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I lost a little bit of that, Anna. Well, I have it now. Wow, 199. Yeah.
Sergio, your audio still is on, by the way.
That's Gunna's lawyer. Gunna's lawyer trying to tell nigga, shut the fuck up, nigga. That's what you trying to say.
Sergio, your audio still is on, by the way.
So he basically say he lost some weight. He say 199 now. I don't even know how he weighed himself, but okay. And you could tell his lawyers who are pretty, you know what I mean? It's like, yo, Sergio, that's Gunna. Nigga, your audio on right now. They ain't going to be like, yo, bro, be quiet. But they're saying it in a non-roundabout way.
All right.
And he said, all right. He cuts the audio off, and I don't think Thug says anything more.
And Jeffrey, I don't believe you're muted either.
Now, Thug's lawyer come out and says, nigga, cut this out. You get me? Both of their lawyers are basically saying, bro, this ain't no time to be doing no talking right now, okay? We are in court. So don't say what up. You know what I mean? Like, imagine Thug was like, yo, what up, Slime? Like, yo, you know what I mean? Like, it'll be a dub. Like, nigga, the prosecutor, because the prosecutor right now, they're listening. These are all the prosecutors right here. Look, all these people right here, this woman right here, this elite guy right here, and this guy right here, they're all looking at the TV like, these motherfuckers talking? Like, they're hoping they say some shit like, what up, slat? Like, you know what I mean? Do some weird nose thingy. I don't know. Is it nose thingy? What's up with his nose thingy? I don't know. Whatever gang that is, you know what I mean? They're probably like, yeah, do that, nigga. Do that. So you hear both attorneys for their respective clients saying in a roundabout way, bro, we can hear you. Stop.
And Jeffrey, I don't believe you're muted either. You're not muted.
By the way, let me jump in here and say this, man. I know, you see me covering this case. I feel incredibly bad, and obviously I'm looking at the good side of things. I'm going to be very clear. I don't know Young Thug, and I don't know Gunna. These could be horrible human beings. These could be guys who are doing crimes and getting people killed. I don't know. I know them as musicians, so I do have a sympathetic side for them. So when you hear me speak, no matter how I cover it, like, I do have a very sympathetic side for them because I don't know the side of them really affecting and putting hits out on people or doing these things to get the community that they live in or operate in, like murders and all these other things that they're being accused. So I have a sympathetic side for them. I'm very sympathetic for Thug and Gunna because, like, even this little small exchange, bro, in a way, they're being dealt with like animals. You know what I mean? Just shut the fuck up. Like, you're caged. Like, you're not even in court to, like, face your fate. You're watching it through a screen. You're locked down for the majority of the day. I have a lot of sympathy for these guys. You get what I mean? Now, granted, that's just me personally. I'm not really, again, obviously the prosecutors believe they have a great case, but just as a human, as someone who likes their music, and as someone who wants to believe that they're good people, I feel bad for the situation they're in. You know what I mean? Like, they're in a situation where they can't even say what up to each other. You know what I mean? Like, I remember watching Thug when he had to raise his hand to go, like, like go to the bathroom, and people were laughing. Like, bruh, like, I feel bad for these guys because no matter, even if, like, cause there's some people who's following this case and they just want these guys to be guilty or just get fucked up because you're jealous that these guys were just rich. Like, these guys were rich and living life and maybe pompous, whatever the case is. This is not a situation you want to really wish for anybody. But also, like, you get a reminder of what the penal system is and the criminal system is. Like, you have a bunch of people who are caged like animals. They're caged like animals. They're almost like seen as zoo animals where they can't even do what they want at the moment. Even if to have a conversation, it's like, oh, do what we tell you. Shut the fuck up. Sit there. And there's sympathy on my end with that. Now, granted, I know somebody gonna listen and be like, Ak, you so pussy. You didn't feel the same way when they were getting all the niggas on Cleveland Ave killed. I don't know that to be the case. And if that is the case, obviously that contextualizes everything. But I don't know. I do feel some sympathy for these guys, man. Right? What do y'all say? Somebody said keep them thugs in there. Keep them thugs in them cages. Well, again, for me, I want to see the best in these guys. All right. Well, so chat, that's the latest situation. If you also don't know, there's a few witnesses that the state is taking extreme precaution on, and they're putting those particular people under, the watchful eyes of the law. They're moving them out of places they used to live at because they want nothing to happen until these guys go to trial. Okay, what's common is that people who are allegedly gonna testify, they will get intimidated to switch their story up or not follow through with it. This case is going to rely heavily on snitches. To be very clear, if no one tells, this is my not expert, but just amateur opinion. If no one tells in this case, I don't think Young Thug goes to jail. Now, if no one tells, there is people going to go to jail still, because the cases they really have, like they have some people like dead to rights on murder, but it's not Thug. You get what I mean? So they have people on murder and stuff like that. But really, with the RICO case, it's usually the hard part, and this is why they created the RICO statute, is to catch the people who won't pull the trigger, who won't actually be there with the drugs, who won't be there burying or moving the body. It's the guy who made the call, though. If somebody say, yo, so-and-so got to die, and he tell his soldiers, however his soldiers handle it, the initial action that planned the crime came from that person. So this is why I believe that the government is going to take a lot of precautions in trying to protect the people who are cooperating. They need those people telling on Thug. Keep in mind, they didn't charge Thug with murder for the death of Nut. But what they say, the narrative is that Thug rented a car and some other guys took the car and went to kill Nut. They didn't charge Thug with murder. However, say someone who was involved with that murder comes out to say, nah, Thug told us to do that shit. Nah, that's why he gave us the car. Gave us the car, told us to go get a gun, and also he told us when to do it. Different. Now they have Thug dead to rights because of the witness. Right? They got the people who did the murder, but they want to pin it up at Thug. So they rather that guy who did the murder, if they just convict him, he probably gets, say, 25 to life. Say he gets 30 years. They rather give that guy 15 that they could give Thug life. Essentially. You get what I mean? So the feds need, or not, I keep saying the feds, but it's the state. They need these snitches. They need the people who are cooperating. And that's going to make it a very, very, very interesting case. Okay? What else was I going to say? Okay, if something else comes up, let me know. Somebody said, who is Nut? Nut. Atlanta,